I never imagined I'd be the man standing in the corner of a fancy restaurant, divorce papers in hand, watching my wife laugh across a candlelit table with another man. For months, I had ignored the signs, the late nights at work, the sudden bursts of new perfume, the endless girls' nights that always seemed to end past midnight. Her name is Emily. For 8 years, she was my world. I built my life around her smile, her dreams, her comfort. But love can be blinding, and in my case, it made me a fool who believed every lie that came wrapped in a kiss. It started small, missed calls, half-read messages she'd swipe away when I came close. I trusted her. I told myself she was just tired or stressed from work. But then one night, while she showered, her phone lit up on the bed. I saw the name Daniel and a heart emoji beside it. My chest tightened. The message preview said, "Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about you." My mind froze. For a minute, I just stared at the screen, my world tilting. When she came out, wrapped in her towel, humming, I pretended I hadn't seen it. I smiled, kissed her forehead, and said, "Dinner's ready." Inside, I was dying. The next few days, I played the perfect husband. I made breakfast, packed her lunch, even kissed her goodbye at the door. But I started watching, quietly, carefully. I followed her once, claiming I had a late meeting. She said she was meeting her friend Clara for dinner. Instead, she went to Ravello's, a high-end Italian restaurant. And there he was, Daniel. I sat in my car across the street, hands trembling, watching the woman I loved feed another man from her fork, laugh like she hadn't in months, and hold his hand across the table. That night, I didn't confront her. Instead, I called my lawyer. I wanted to end it cleanly, with dignity. But as I signed the papers, I knew I needed her to see what she'd destroyed. So, I planned my move. The next Friday, she said she had another dinner with Clara. I smiled, kissed her cheek, and said, "Have fun, love." She smiled back, confident, lying. I watched her leave in a black dress I'd bought her for our anniversary 2 years ago. My heart twisted, but my resolve was firm. I followed her to Ravello's again, my pulse steady this time. She was there, same table, same man. They laughed, clinking glasses, his hand sliding over hers. That was my cue. I walked into the restaurant, slow and calm, every step echoing in my chest. When I reached their table, she looked up, mid-laughter. The color drained from her face instantly. "Michael," she whispered, voice trembling. Daniel froze, looking between us, confused. I didn't speak right away. I just placed the envelope on the table, right beside her wine glass. "What's this?" she stammered, eyes darting between me and the papers. "Divorce papers," I said quietly. "Since you've already moved on, I thought I'd save you the trouble." Her jaw dropped. Daniel looked like he wanted to disappear. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "Michael, please, it's not what it looks like," she started, her voice shaking. I let out a bitter laugh. "Not what it looks like? Should I pretend he's your cousin? Or that you just feed random men pasta for fun?" A few heads turned around us. I didn't care. For months, she'd lied to my face, and now, I wanted her to feel the weight of it. Tears filled her eyes. "Michael, please, I can explain." "No need," I said, keeping my tone cold. "Everything I needed to know is right here." I tapped the papers. "You can sign them when you're done with dessert." Her hand trembled as she reached for the envelope. The silence between us stretched painfully. Daniel tried to say something, but I cut him off with a look sharp enough to make him shrink back. Then she whispered something I'll never forget. "I didn't want to lose you." I stared at her, stunned. "You already did." For a moment, her face crumbled, her confident mask gone. "It was supposed to be harmless," she said softly, tears streaking her makeup. "I just wanted to feel wanted again." "You've been distant. You barely look at me anymore." Her words stung. She was right, I had been distant, drowning in work, trying to build a life for us. But that wasn't an excuse for betrayal. So you cheated because I was working for us? I asked, my voice rising. Because I wanted to give you more than bills and rent? She buried her face in her hands. I'm sorry, Michael. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I shook my head slowly. It always goes this far when lies start to feel like love. The entire restaurant seemed to fade. It was just her and me, two strangers staring across a broken bridge. I took a deep breath, turned, and walked out. Behind me, I heard her sobbing quietly. For the first time in months, I didn't stop to comfort her. Outside, the night air hit me like freedom. I stood there for a minute, staring at the city lights, my heart pounding. I should have felt angry, but instead, I felt empty. 8 years, countless memories, and it all ended with a signature on a paper and a shattered truth in a restaurant. A week later, she showed up at my apartment. Her eyes were swollen, her voice soft. Michael, I made a mistake. Please, let's talk. She handed me the papers, signed. I looked at her one last time. You know, I said, for years, I believed every word you said. You were my truth, Emily. But now, all I hear is noise. She broke down then, sobbing, clutching the edge of my shirt. I still love you. I gently took her hands off me and stepped back. Then maybe you should have loved me enough not to destroy us. And with that, I closed the door. That night, I sat alone on the couch, staring at the divorce papers. It wasn't victory. It wasn't revenge. It was peace, the kind that comes when you finally stop trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be saved. Months later, I saw her again by chance, walking down the street. She looked thinner, quieter, like someone who carried regret as her shadow. Our eyes met briefly, and she looked away first. That told me everything. She shattered every lie she ever told the moment I handed her those papers, not with words, but with silence, with tears, with the realization that I wasn't the fool she thought I'd always be. And that night, as I walked away from her for the last time, I finally understood something. Sometimes the loudest revenge is quiet dignity.